up on Chapman News, coast to coast, how schools across the country are addressing campus assaults.
Plus, shoot first, ask questions later, not so fast. How officers prepare for violent confrontations and think before pulling the trigger. That's coming up in a live report.
And from bloggers to broadcast, this Chapman couple shares their experience from the amazing race.
We've got an exclusive interview with the Chapman University professor who took home a Grammy this Sunday. I'm Monica Petruzzelli, and Chapman News starts right now.
Hi, welcome to Chapman News and our first show of 2015. I'm Selah Kahrmann.
And I'm Mitch. We start today with a story that hits close to home with many college students. With growing concern over the threat of sexual assault on college campuses, reporter Gardner Royce looks into whether Chapman students and faculty think the correct preventative steps are being taken.
With spring classes just starting, students once again face new schedules, new opportunities, and new danger. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 1 in 5 women in the U.S. has been raped. Recently, Dartmouth College announced that all alcohol above 30 proof would be banned from its campus in an effort to curb sexual assault. While the intentions might be good, Chapman's rape crisis counselor Danny Smith thinks it's missing the point.
I think alcohol is very much or often associated with the occurrence of sexual assault, but it doesn't cause sexual assault.
For Smith, who's worked to spread awareness at Chapman for over 20 years, combating sexual assault requires a much broader and more comprehensive approach, something junior Julia White agrees with.
In reality, when I think about it, it doesn't do anything to address the structural realities of like a culture that allows sexual assault. I don't know, I'm an RA on campus and residents who are not 21 are not allowed to have any alcohol, but they still do.
For Public Safety Chief Randy Burba, banning alcohol may seem like the logical decision, but there are issues.
The problem is, I think that just banning it from a campus doesn't take it out of the equation. Unless you can fundamentally change young people's behavior, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old people that go to college specifically for the college experience.
Senior Matt Martinez agrees with Burba, saying much of the problem lies in how society views women.
Look at things such as Tinder or other online dating services. The first thing we pay attention to as a society is a person's physical characteristics.
While they all agree that alcohol does play a role in many sexual assault cases, Professor Smith reiterated the fact that the majority of sexual assaults are done by serial rapists. And so focusing on such a specific aspect like alcohol is actually missing the root of the problem. For Chapman News, I'm Gardner Royce.
Chapman University continues to work with public safety on creating a safe environment for students.
Federal law requires all colleges and universities that receive federal financial aid to address sexual assault on their campuses. This includes Chapman University. The school sent out a mass email to students notifying them that on Tuesday, a non-Chapman student verbally harassed 2 female students and touched one of them. The incident occurred in front of the Leatherby Library and near the Davis Apartments. Students with any information are asked to call the Orange Police Department.
Santa Ana is one step closer to becoming the first city in Orange County to have legally operating medical marijuana dispensaries. More than 600 applicants paid hundreds of dollars each to enter a lottery to legally operate their stores in select city zones. Santa Ana collected about $1 million from the lottery applicants and is planning on using those funds to help crack down on the more than 100 dispensaries that are still operating illegally in the city. Now, those 20 who were selected will be moving on to the next phase, in which Santa Ana Police Department will review their applications and decide within 60 days whether or not to grant them a permit.
Students planning on enrolling in the University of California school system by 2017 will be required to have full vaccinations. Beginning in 2017, all 10 UC schools will place holds on any students' registrations that have failed to complete the vaccination screenings. This system-wide 3-year plan will increase the vaccination requirements to cover 10 potential diseases. This proposal was planned before the measles outbreak at Disneyland, and if students choose to decline a vaccination, they are able to fill out a waiver. UC Irvine currently has vaccination requirements already.
Measles has made a strong comeback in Southern California with more than 100 cases reported in the past 2 months. Reporter Mallory Leonard shows us the precautionary steps that you can take at home.
Vaccines are proven to effectively protect children from the measles. The Center for Disease Control says the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, or MMR, is 99% effective in fighting off the disease.
The immunizations are to protect their children. The babies can die from the measles.
Some parents are skeptical of vaccinating their children. They believe it causes autism, but health officials say otherwise.
It's, unfortunate. And none of that stuff is proven, so that's what's really hard to counteract.
And in highly populated areas, the risk of exposure is higher than ever.
We're so intertwined with other countries now just by travel. And when you say international travel, you could just hop on a local flight and you're traveling with international travelers. Or you could go to an amusement park like Disneyland and you're going to be with international travelers as well.
For those that don't have access to their health records or immunizations, there are still ways to check if you've been vaccinated.
You can draw blood and check antibodies to see if they have immunity to the measles.
Doctors say it's important to educate yourself and understand all of your options. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Mallory Leonard.
The measles outbreak, which originated at Disneyland, has spread to 17 states, with the most recent case in Illinois.
The search has been called off for a missing 18-year-old man in Laguna Beach. Anthony Parnell was last seen exploring the rocks with his friends on the south side of Thousand Steps Beach. A large wave crashed into his group, knocking all 4 of his friends off the rocks. 3 friends recovered, but Parnell didn't come back up. Lifeguards from the area searched extensively all week.
Panther Village is home to many Chapman students, but a few weeks ago, public safety found that students weren't the only ones living there. A Panther Village employee notified public safety when they came across personal belongings left in between buildings. It turned out to be a homeless man living in the complex. Orange Police Department arrested the man for illegal lodging. The man claimed he had only been residing in a water heater room in the attic for a few days. Public safety has notified residents that safety precautions have been taken to prevent this in the future.
Officer-involved shootings seem to be more common now than ever. Police officers are responsible for protecting citizens in their area, and sometimes lethal force is deemed necessary.
Reporter Evan Arani is out in Huntington Beach to tell us more about the police officers and their protection.
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, I'm here at Beach City's Krav Maga in Huntington Beach. Now, it's not a surprise that in the media we hear a lot about police using lethal force against civilians, but what we don't hear a lot about are the combative methods, the normal Krav Maga, martial arts that we learn a lot about, that you learn a lot about, and we're here joined with Ross Nemiroff. He is the law enforcement consultant for Behind the Badge Orange County. Ross, can you tell us a little bit about what Krav Maga is and how you learned about it?
Yes, Krav Maga is an Israeli military defense system that's used to subdue suspects. Learned about it here in Orange County. Many law enforcement agencies here in Orange County are using Krav Maga to train their officers. And not only that, it's taught on the state, federal, and internationally as well.
All right, and so when you're out on duty and you have a gun with you, but you've also learned these Krav Maga methods, how do you know when you're able to use lethal force versus using the methods that you've learned?
Well, Krav Maga is specifically designed in close quarters type situations where you may not be able to draw and get to your firearm safely. You may, by drawing your firearm, you may injure not only your partner or somebody else as well. So it's designed to subdue the suspect and create some distance in order to take a suspect into custody safely.
Okay, awesome. And now we have a couple instructors here who are going to show us a couple methods of Krav Maga, and we're going to have Ross narrate this. So Ross, can you tell us what's happening now?
Yes, the gentleman in the black hat, he's the suspect. Green hat is the officer. He's talking to a citizen on the street. He doesn't know that he's armed, and he's just conducting an interview with him. Suspect goes for a knife. The officer uses distraction strikes and kicks to subdue the suspect and prones him out right here on the ground, and he's safely being able to take into custody. The next one is the suspect's armed with a gun. The officer does not know he's armed with a gun, so the officer distracts him, is able to do a front kick to the groin area and prone the suspect out and take him into custody without incident.
And so as you can see, we're live here in Huntington Beach. There's a lot of methods that police officers use to protect themselves outside of lethal force. But for now, we're going to throw it back to you in the studio. I'm Evan Arani, Chapman News.
Thanks, Evan. That was some awesome stuff right there.
Chapman University's School of Pharmacy received its accreditation for its doctoral program in a statement released last week.
The Irvine-based campus is the first of its kind in Orange County. The school will begin enrolling students into the program this upcoming fall with a target initial class of 60 students.
The school will undergo a review process for full accreditation in 2018. This coincides with the program's first graduating class. Now, Mitch, I just love hearing about all these love stories around this time of year.
Well, we're in luck. We got a few coming up right now.
She met her new husband on eHarmony. I keep saying eBay, but that's not right.
Coming up, an Orange County couple shares the key to long-lasting love this Valentine's Day.
And later, we've got more on a Chapman couple who had a shot at racing across the globe on national TV.
And 84 and sunny, that's a nice way to kick off the weekend, but will those winds affect your Valentine's Day plans? We'll have that in your 5-day forecast coming up on Chapman News.
Don't stand by, stand up.
President Barack Obama is at Stanford University this morning as he addresses the White House Summit on Cybersecurity and Consumer Protection. Ever since the Sony hack in November, Obama and his administration have made cybersecurity a top priority, focusing on protecting the country's critical infrastructure and identifying cyber incidents. While the event is not open to the public, government and law enforcement officials, consumer advocates, and CEOs from numerous industries will be in attendance. This is the first time in the past 40 years that a standing president will be at campus at Stanford.
Congress approved construction of the Keystone Pipeline on Thursday. The House voted 270 to 152 to send the bill to the president. President Obama is expected to veto the bill. Neither the House nor the Senate has enough votes to overturn a veto from the president. The Keystone Pipeline would connect Canada's tar sands to refineries along the Gulf Coast. Republicans argue it is a jobs bill that would boost energy security, while Democrats maintain it is a gift to the oil industry that will worsen the world's climate change.
Now, Chapman's own Cup from Down Under, Aussie Bean, has been on campus for 6 months, but rumors are brewing of Sodexo bringing in some competition. The possibility of a Starbucks coffee shop coming to campus is circulating around the university. Aussie Bean is a family-owned business that brews Australian-style coffee and is successful and popular among Chapman University students. The couple behind it all is Gavin and Natalie Wilkinson. Natalie is a Chapman alum and loves having a coffee cart on campus of her alma mater. Chapman University has yet to officially comment on the rumors. However, we do know that students love their new boutique coffee shop.
I drink Starbucks probably based off of name recognition alone, but I will drink Aussie Bean because it's cheaper.
I prefer to have Aussie Bean on campus. It's not so corporate, not too sweet, not too flavorful, just good old coffee.
Today in the studio, we are excited to have Chapman alumni Dennis Auer and Isabel Dew, also known as #The Dating Couple, on season 25 of the hit CBS show, The Amazing Race.
Welcome, Dennis and Isabel. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Appreciate it.
So tell us first, how did you guys meet at Chapman?
We met at Ardra's Forum. She was a freshman and I was a junior. and I was rolling around in my scooter in the cafeteria.
He had a razor, and I was trying to recruit him to join the APSA club, the Asian Pacific Student Association club.
Yeah.
He never went to a meeting.
She caught my eye, so, but I chased her for 8 years until we were together.
Yeah, completely oblivious.
So sweet. So now, how did you go from Chapman to getting involved with The Amazing Race?
We've been fans of The Amazing Race for years. We watched it and we dreamed about being on the show. So when we got together, I found out she was a fan too, and we were going to say, hey, why don't we try out?
Duh. I mean, it was just such common sense. We're like, we got to win the million together. So we actually tried out 3 times. You know, it worked out the 3rd time's the charm. Yeah.
So you guys started in New York City. Where did the race take you after that?
We went to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and then after that we went to
London.
London.
And then we traveled through train all the way to Oxford, and that's where things ended.
But they actually end up sending us to Portugal for the next 3 weeks, so.
So it's good. We got to see a lot of things. We met a lot of great people, so it was
Very
good.
nice.
Good.
Good free vacation afterwards.
So what was our favorite highlight of being on The Amazing Race, the whole experience in total? Favorite highlight?
What's your favorite, babe?
Oh my gosh. Right now I'm thinking about jumping off the rocks.
To me, it was the start line. Being there on the start line was like, I can't believe I'm going to start The Amazing Race. Yeah. We dreamed about this. We waited how many years to be on the show, and
it was such a high because we were around. It was in Times Square. It was just a bunch of people there, and we had no idea that there would be that many people there. We had no idea that they were going to tweet out. That was the first time they ever tweeted out people to come see the start of the race.
So will you guys forever be fans of the show after this experience?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It still burns a little bit that we lost, but we're still going to be big fans of the show.
It's so random because we actually I bumped into a girl that's going to be on the next Amazing Race. So it's a sign that we're true fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, tell us one thing everyone wants to know about behind the scenes. What's something that we don't see on TV, but you guys experience behind the scenes on Amazing Race?
You're constantly hungry.
Yes.
You're constantly hungry.
We were hoarding food from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like.
You're just adrenaline's running. You're running the whole race, so you're not eating the whole time. So by the time you have some downtime, your body just says, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I'm dehydrated.
You're there with like a sound person, you're there with a camera guy. And so, actually it's never just you two, you're always in a team of people. It's very chaotic. It's as stressful as that looks on TV, if not more. I feel like TV kind of downplays the stress.
Yes.
So how about the other couples, the other pairs in The Amazing Race? Are they the same behind the scenes, or are they kind of different?
Well, I don't know. You see both sides. You see everyone's happy sometimes, everyone's mad sometimes, everyone's sad sometimes. So it depends on how they edit.
Some people are definitely more media savvy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It sounds like an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Glad everyone got a little bit of an inside look at The Amazing Race and our Chapman superstars who are on the race.
Awesome.
A new market has opened on 4th Street in Santa Ana with the goal of uniting the community with delicious food. Reporter Nicholas Vieira has the story.
Street Market in Santa Ana is a new market opening very soon that prides itself on small business, creativity, and artisan foods. The market has 15 different restaurants catering to a wide variety of tastes, like waffles, burgers, cookies, and ice cream, to name a few. The man behind the market is Ryan Chase.
Food is really something that brought people to an area that otherwise maybe would never come before, as well as really was a great melting pot to bring people in. 4th Street Market will be a game changer for the downtown. It is one of the biggest projects to hit the area in a long time. Then having this as an anchor to the area, and then people can come here to hang out and then go to other things as well, it's kind of I do think it's going to be a big draw.
The restaurant owners have high hopes for how the market will improve the area of Santa Ana.
This marketplace is really diverse with all the different types of food and accessibility, the different products that are available, high end to low end to everyone from the bus to the Bentley. So I think it's going to impact everyone because it reaches out to every demographic that's out there and everyone that's in the community.
Bring people into this area and introduce them into some really wonderful things that they didn't know existed.
I think anytime you create that third place, that place that's not work, not home, place to come and hang out, it's always good for the community. It's a place for people to gather and enjoy great food and hopefully good company.
We're very excited about 4th Street Market and the impact it's going to have on downtown Santa Ana, and we would love for more people to come check it out, not only 4th Street Market, but the area as a whole.
The 4th Street Market is set to officially open its doors on February 16th. With Chapman News, I'm Nicholas Vieira, signing off.
And the Santa Ana is a great place to grab food and a little bit of culture.
After 95 years, one big electronics company is shacking up about 2,000 stores. Let's check in with Chapman News reporter Renee Willis with more on the story.
Radio Shack has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, leading to the closure of about half of their stores nationwide. Some stores have already shut their doors in Orange County, including the Brea and Old Town Orange locations. Residents are having mixed emotions about the company's downsize.
It's been here since I was a kid. We had Gumball Rally, the movie hit the window, and now they're closing it and making a pizza parlor out of it. And we got 5 pizza parlors already. We don't need another one.
Well, I'm going to miss Radio Shack. I'd shop here periodically for my son, but generally only during the holidays. So I guess the economic reality is that it's hard to compete with a lot of non-brick and mortar stores.
Only a dozen stores will remain open in Orange County. Radio Shack has said it will sell most of the remaining stores to General Wireless, a company who is a big shareholder and affiliate of Standard General. Some of the locations will become a store within a store for Sprint. Reporting in Orange, I'm Renee Willis, Chapman News.
The stores that are set to close will shut their doors by the end of March.
A Riverside female administrator was sentenced to 10 years in state prison after a former student came forward with allegations of molestation. Administrator Andrea Michelle Cardoza pled guilty to 3 of 16 charges brought against her last month. The allegations began after a former student posted a YouTube video of her confrontational phone call with Cardoza. Julie C. sent her video to Alhambra High School in hopes that Cardoza would be fired for openly admitting that she had inappropriate relationships with her former students. The statute of limitations has passed on Julie C.'s case, but when the video went viral, another student molested by Cardoza came forward and brought her former teacher to court. Cardoza is 41 years old and will likely serve her sentence at the California Institution for Women in Corona.
Now, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and for many, this is a day for love and romance. Now we meet a couple who shares their secret in keeping the spark alive. Leah Freeman brings us this inspiring love story.
That's pretty bad.
I didn't say I was smart.
That was pretty bad.
For Burton and Carol Basney, Valentine's Day is just like any other day.
We've had a wonderful life, just an amazing life. I keep pinching myself and wondering, how did this happen?
The Laguna Woods couple, who celebrated their 50th anniversary in 2013, says friendship is the key to a lifelong marriage.
We're pretty comfortable with each other, aren't we? Huh?
Yeah, we just live together, and that's great.
The couple met while teaching abroad, but decided to raise their family in the United States. The Basneys now share time between their Michigan and Laguna Woods homes, which family members refer to as a gift shop.
Everything we have pretty much has a story connected with it, and that's fun.
For the one car, we've got a vanity plate that says GR, the numeral 8, and then life, L-I-F-E. So it turns out to be great life, which is what it has been.
Couldn't be more true for the adventurous couple that loves traveling and spending time with their 6 grandchildren.
I can't think of a thing that I'd do differently.
I think everything happens for a reason. I really do. Yeah, right.
In Laguna Woods, Leah Freeman, Chapman News.
The couple is looking forward to their upcoming travel adventures. Beginning next month with, get this, a trip to Hawaii.
Sounds nice. Love is in the air and things are heated up across the Southland this weekend.
But first, let's check in with Mandi Ortiz, who's got your weekend weather forecast.
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, that heat is not quite going anywhere, but those winds we've been experiencing, about 5 to 10 mile-per-hour winds, will continue today. They're going to last just a couple days longer, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to our 5-day forecast. Now, as for your Orange County forecast, Westminster coming in at 82 degrees. It's still going to be pretty hot. San Clemente down to 76 degrees. That's about as low as it's going to get in the Orange County area. staying pretty consistent with those mid to high 70s into the mid 80s. Santa Barbara coming in at 76 degrees. Big Bear Lake at 59 degrees, and ironically, Palm Springs, 82 degrees, which is lower than Los Angeles and Anaheim, coming in at 84. And as for your 5-day forecast, those winds are expected to continue today and tomorrow. They'll die down about Sunday, but it is going to be hot over the next few days. Today being the hottest day, up to 88 degrees. It will get a little bit cooler by Tuesday and bring it down to 72 degrees. Sunny, but a little bit of cloud coverage there. And up in the northeast in New England area, that side of the country is experiencing a big blizzard coming in this weekend, but we're pretty lucky here in California. We get to give you a surf report. So Huntington Beach today, 3 to 5 foot waves, that nice waist to shoulder height waves. Great surfing out there. Saturday, 3 to 4 feet, and Sunday, just a little bit lower with 2 to 4 foot waves. I know everyone wants to know, what is the weather looking like for Valentine's Day tomorrow? At 11 a.m., starting out hot with 83 degrees. The baseball game here at Chapman will be kicking off at that time. That's where I'll be. It'll be hot, so I'll make sure to wear my baseball cap. Then 5 p.m., getting ready for those Valentine's Day dinner plans. About 65 degrees. It'll be a nice temperature at that time. And then there's just enough time for that late night stroll on the beach with your loved one. 62 degrees at 8 p.m. Make sure to bring a light jacket because it's going to cool down a little bit. Overall, a nice, well-temperatured Valentine's Day. It's going to be a hot one, but if you want to make it a little bit hotter, I think you can go to see 50 Shades of Grey. And now to sports with Sami Harrelson.
Well, if you don't want to see 50 Shades of Grey, you can watch Chapman Athletics. Coming up, basketball looks to keep their home's win streak alive. And we take a look at 2 CU football players reaching for their dreams beyond the Panther end zone. All that and more up next on the Best Campus Sports Show.
Don't stand by, stand up.
Emergencies and disasters happen with little or no warning and often occur while you are away from home. Be ready for emergencies by registering your alternate phone numbers, cell phones, and email addresses at alertoc.com. You will receive alerts when an emergency occurs near your workplace or neighborhood.
I'm Sami Harrelson, and you're watching this year's first Best Campus Sports Show. We start off with basketball at the Hut. Chapman unbeaten at home coming into the game, taking on the Whittier Poets. The Panthers try to stay atop the SCIAC conference standings, but Whittier jumps to an early lead with a point from Andrew Torres. But Chapman will fight back. Zaversnick passes over to James, back over to Jordan Young for the three, and they will keep it up. Zaversnick's running down the side for another two with a jumper. And again, there will be another quick pass to Zaversnick right there, shoots a three, and Chapman goes into the half at 38-36. Zaversnick would finish the night with 20 points. But it's a different story in the second half. Poets open the half on a 12-0 run. Andrew Torres finishes at the rim. Final score 79-63 Whittier. Chapman still needs one more win to secure a spot in the SCIAC tournament.
The NFL draft sees Division I athletes who have dedicated their entire college careers to preparing for professional football. But 2 NFL combines will feature Chapman football players, D3 athletes who pursue degrees in math and business alongside their dreams of the NFL. Here's Mandi Ortiz.
Not everyone training at Chapman University is preparing for another season as a Panther. Senior football players Anthony Ezeakuni and Osa Ackenberry are looking to take their skills to a professional field, training for the NFL Combine.
Getting my speed training together, getting more flexible, and just eating a lot.
Outnumbered by Division I athletes, they have to find a way to stand out.
There are Division III players in the league right now. You know, there's not a bunch. It's a tough road, but Anthony and Osa, you know, they're on their way.
Leaders in Chapman's football program last year, the two played in the National Bowl game together in December, and both dream of their chance to play pro.
You enjoy the game, you start realizing you're good, and you might have a knack for it, and then from there you decide, you know, I think I want to do this.
Less than 15 NFL players came from Division III schools for the 2014 season, and Ackenberry and Ezeakuni both had the opportunity to play Division I, but their decision to play at Chapman is in their drive to succeed outside of the goalposts.
Being here, the coaches actually took time to really mold me into an athlete.
The whole talk when I came here was about life outside of football. It was about what are you going to do after football? What are your life goals? And I've never really had a coach talk to me in that way. It was always about what can you do for me on the field? What are your football goals and this and that.
The two will showcase their skills at different combines, one in Chicago and the other in Denver, but both have the same feeling toward the coming weeks.
The magnitude of this moment is literally everything I've worked for since I could walk. So it's the fact that it's finally here. It's a little scary, but I think I'm ready.
The two will be off to their combines in the next month to hope to spark some interest from a team. After that, it's a waiting game. For Chapman News, I'm Mandi Ortiz. Back to you.
Anthony and Osa may not headline the NFL draft, but they have high hopes of making a team for the upcoming season. This has been the Best Campus Sports Show. Chapman News will be right back.
Don't stand by, stand up.
Mitch, are you hearing what I'm hearing?
You know, I think I am, and it sounds like musical success in the Chapman community. Monica, fill us in.
Of course, and thank you, Mitch. What you're hearing is music that won Chapman University professor Nicholas Terry his first Grammy this weekend at the 57th Grammy Awards. His ensemble took home the title of Best Classical Compendium for their CD, Harry Partch, Plectra, and Percussion Dances, which was also nominated for Best Small Ensemble Performance. Yesterday, I got a chance to sit down and talk with Professor Terry, and he told me the key to success in the music business.
So I think that you have to be very deeply, profoundly serious and hardworking at the craft. And if you do that, and you're as hardworking as somebody who's working 50, 60 hours a week at a desk job, then it's a matter of time before you encounter success.
Terry will be performing this Friday with the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet, as well as this weekend at the Laguna Beach Music Festival. But Professor Terry wasn't the only Chapman Panther to attend the Grammy Awards this weekend. Here are a few of the pictures sent to me from Chapman students who also strutted their stuff on the red carpet. But as much fun as it is to relive last weekend, it's time to figure out what to do this weekend. It's going to be Valentine's Day after all, so to give you all some inspiration, I took to the Chapman campus to see what students think would make for a perfect Orange County Valentine's Day date.
Go in the Newport, go somewhere around the Newport area, go to like a nice restaurant at the Newport area, maybe catch a movie, maybe not, maybe watch the sunset, maybe not, but Newport's like the best place to go to in Orange County for a Valentine's Day date.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Disneyland.
Orange County or the beach, so I think this would be really nice.
To be perfectly honest, Disneyland. Like, I'm sure that's something everyone has said, but honestly, like, go to Disneyland all day, come home, and order a giant pizza and watch Netflix till like 3 in the morning.
And Disneyland are on the top of their Valentine's Day to-do lists. Thank you for listening, and back to you guys.
Thank you, Monica. We have some breaking news from Los Angeles. Longtime KTLA television reporter Stan Chambers died this morning at the age of 91. Chambers' career at KTLA spanned more than 60 years.
He was celebrated as one of the first reporters in television to cover breaking news, including coverage of the Watts riots, Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, and the annual Rose Bowl parade. He retired from KTLA in 2010. Chambers is survived by his wife, 11 children, 38 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren.
Thank you for joining us for our first newscast of the semester. We'll be here each Friday through the end of May.
We'll keep you updated on everything going on in Orange County. You've been watching Chapman News, Orange County's TV news leader.
For Mitch, I'm Selah Kahrmann. We'll see you next week.